What's up, everyone, and welcome to an emergency broadcast of the Reon Skyridge video recording. Because Bushiroad, they usually do all their presentation or whatever where they reveal what they're doing in the future. My hair is horrible. That's how you know how urgent this video is about to be. And at least for Vanguard, they dropped quite the bombshell today, so we gotta go over that real quick. This will not be covered here. One of the things they did reveal is the new DSR art for Xerath, the Phantom Wizard deck or whatever, so that'll be covered in this future video. Make sure you comment, subscribe to see that go live. They're actually revealing it as I record this in the morning. Come soon, that'll definitely happen, but I want to branch out with a bunch of other silly stuff. More importantly, I know you guys are here for the ban list. I don't care. We'll talk ban list in a second. There was a slide with a picture of Aermo and, more importantly, Akane. Freaking high dog breeder Akane. Classic set to Royal Paladin. I have been wanting this for the longest time to come out in the format ever since the encounters happened. I wanted to do this slide first just because they are shadow dropping her along with the Xerath stuff, so we'll know about this later. Wait till the end of the video to see what she actually does. We'll talk about them both, but this is the card. Akane is the card that effectively deals with high beast cards. The original one just calls anything out of deck. The V1 calls out a specific dog, so probably those two will be back together, I guess. I mean, what's gonna happen is probably gonna be Aichi locked. These are support cards for the products that are gonna get soon here in America, so probably will be locked behind Aichi icon. I don't care, there's hope. Make her high beast. Just make her high beast in general. Please, she belongs. Bushiroad. She belongs in Hound Razors. That's what I've been saying. Since Hound Razor Day 1, gives the Akane, gives the Armor. One of those two belongs as the counter for Hound Razors. I mean, even as an Aichi card, still hype. I've been playing out Alfred a lot and can't wait for the new one to come out, new Soul Saber based deck. Video on that will be eventually. I don't know, I haven't done that yet, but maybe I'll do a proxy fight between. I am super freaking hyped for Akane. This is the one thing that made me want to record this over anything else. Along with that though, we are also getting Aermo. This is a card that traditionally is a booster for Overlord. From its usual skills, I'm just seeing that like usually get a little bit of power and some secondary skills. Like the V1 list, you do a counter charge. Specific one, the one that probably bases on is just Soul Blast, make it a 10k booster. I don't know. This is the one that's a little bit hard to predict just because it's just a power booster. Yes, the first one's a drop and draw, but we already have Gojo. Gojo is what makes me think Akane can still be useful. Start deck versions of the Gojo and the Light Turner. Can we get out of that new lamp? It's super bright. Yeah, sure. That's why we're doing emergency recordings. Lights to be all over the place. Yeah, the Lian Gojos we get in trial decks, while they are still icon cards, they are not locked. They do not have a skill that says if your Vanguard is icon. The Aermo and Akane, if they give that same thing, just make them generic. Like, I know these are supports specifically for those decks, but I just want Akane to be in High Razor, so let's be real. Alright, moving on. We have other things to cover. Probably should talk about ban list first. I mean, there's a couple other things we'll go over first, but we should probably, you guys probably hear the ban list. Let's talk about the ban list. This is a big old boy. Defensive cards, they're just gone. Like, no more Roar, no more Turquoise, no more of the set ones that let you guard from the field. They're gone. My take on this is, just because the official format, like the official events you go to, are usually best of one double loss at the end of time. So I can see Bushiroad wanting to do this just to make those go a little bit faster, just so you don't have as much low play, if that makes sense. At the same time, it is kind of a downer because there goes your interactivity. These defensive cards were how you interacted on your opponent's turn. Take that as you will. I think it's a positive thing. I think it's a good thing because Bushiroad is trying to speed up the game. Other thing, here's the big slide. Oh my jeebus. So we have a couple of choice restricts. Preface this entire section with this is a Japanese list. It's not going to affect us yet, but Bushiroad has been pretty consistent about like bringing over these Japanese sets to us eventually. Somewhere down the line, we probably get this restriction. And these I'm about to talk about are one or the other. These neutering Burgla, neutering Heartlaroo, neutering Deep Land. Three of the biggest decks in the game right now. Briefly going over what they do. The Heartlaroo one I'll say first just because I am a Darkseid player, I'm a Heartlaroo player. You know I brought that to a couple different regionals already. It is one of my babies, that's Theme Park guy. Either run Heartlaroo himself or the Overtrigger. You're going to be choosing Heartlaroo himself. Red OT, this feels like a slap on the wrist to me. I will attest, you win games off Red OT in this deck. Literally, even last night as I was giving this another test I haven't played in forever with the new cards, I did win at least one game yesterday on locals by giving the restand ability to just a critical mode. It's a card that essentially gives you an extra attack. It's really good in certain decks that are stuck to like 3-4 attacks, whatever. Heartlaroo, you have a 5 attack pattern, so you just give that to one of your V-Standard guys and suddenly you have a 6 attack. And your V-Standard guys have the ability to either gain a crit or guard a trick. So giving 100 bajillion and a V-Stand to one of those guys, kind of deadly. I can agree with this. What, you just go back to Dark State 1? I can see arguments for this, that, and the other over trigger, generic ones, whatever. Get blue, get some back. Purple if you want to heal. White if you want some board control or something, I don't know. I think Dark State's fine. See my over trigger ranking video, I think the Dark State's one of the good ones. Just the ability to permanently have plus 10 and crit, especially on a deck where you're almost always swinging with a plus 10 and a triple drive anyways. Use a stride. Go back to your normal OT, you're fine. Just sucks that you're missing out on your gimmicky one-turn attack. Deep lands, I can't really comment on this one too much. Like, I play against deep lands plenty of times, but I don't personally pilot the deck, so there'll be people that talk about this more. Comment down below if you have any opinions on this. Twist restricting either the Plague Doctor grade 3, the one that revives itself, and the Plant Maker token guy, cross fusion grade 1. Like, it's good, it has its uses, it makes you more early game, it's always lets you sack stuff to draw a card, but I feel like the grade 3 is much more important here. Just the fact that it's part of your 6 attack combo and just goes back for free whenever you're riding grade 3. I feel like that's more important than sacrifice 2 cards to draw a card. I don't know. What I do know though, what we can talk about a little bit, is the last twist restriction. Virgula, my baby boy, rest in peace, Skyride. Just treat Skyride. They are twist restricting either the main grade 3 of the deck and the Drag Ritter that lets you check your top 5 for a grade 3. Absolutely solid choice. There are other grade 3 searchers in a deck, like the pop out to ride line cards, check 5, 7, something like that, for every grade 3 add to hand. This card is so much better though. Effectively, it gives a plus 5 for free, 13k booster, 13k attack for P2E. Searches for any grade 3. It's a lot different than the other one we have to search for every grade 3 that you're on, because you can like whiff and find another base Burglar. If you're on Alpha Knights, find another Alpha Knights, whatever. 100% this makes sense. Burglar now has effectively 3 grade 3s that you can run between itself, Alpha Knights, and Favernail. It's a Favernail, Jesus Christ, it's early. Because this card is super good in the deck, it's super consistent, and it also gives you powers. While there are other options, like I said, with that grade 3, huge, massive hit. This does a lot to the deck. And on top of that, we also have another thing below it in the 2-ofs for Alpha Knight and Corvus. Now, Corvus, this doesn't affect us yet. This is a card that's really good for a Rewinder deck, which we do have. I've done a huge video on all the different ways to play Rewinders. In Japan, there you got 2 promos, new form and a grade 2. Decks apparently tier 0 there. Can't wait till those come here in America, because you guys know how I am about time travel deck. I guess Corvus is part of that. More importantly, here in America, we still have Burglar. We're still talking about Burglar. Alpha Knights is your Alfred. This is your give you 5 attack card. It just cycles out anything of your keyword pieces from drop deck. It's a good card. It's a good card. Hades to 2 is huge. Alpha Knights itself effectively turned Virgula from the whatever deck into the tier 0 deck it is now. I feel like all these effects for Virgula between that and the grade 1 restriction are going to be a big hit on the deck. I don't know if it kills the deck completely, because as someone that's played Virgula since the beginning, it can very much just be a good stuff Dragon Empire deck. It just has a lot more pieces now. There is still a way. I will find a way to make new Virgula work. I'll start cooking that soon. I don't think the deck's dead. I just think it might not be tier 0 anymore. It might be like more fair deck, if that makes sense. Last thing on the slide. The hit a card Minerva. I don't even know what this does. I don't play Minerva. I've only played against it a couple times. You have one of the pieces now. Probably good. Someone comment below, yell at me about Minerva stuff. Last thing I'll say about the list. We're talking to some of my locals. I was trying to get a podcast going, but no one wanted to do anything. Some more competitive players are saying this is going to shake up the meta a lot. Obviously, we're seeing, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 key decks be affected by this list. 5 of the top decks in the meta are affected by this slide alone. And then going back to the defensive things, like it also affects Prison. It also affects Luard a lot, which shout out, that just got like what, 2nd place in Philly, I believe. So good job there. Yeah, defensive war. Massive. Overall, it's gonna, I think, speed up the game a lot more with defensive cards being gone, and it's gonna shake up the meta a lot with these top 5 decks being absolutely not destroyed but made more fair. Good list, I think. Can't wait to see how Japan looks in the next few weeks once it starts going into effect. And make sure you are subscribed to this. Go live with whatever we're cooking on the new band list. Finally, go over this slide real quick. Like I said, there's a couple slides that are about to get covered, like the Phantom deck. We got some stuff for the new Vanguard collection thing. That's gonna be our brightest collection for the year. Gonna have a bunch of support for legacy decks, for actual anime protagonist decks. You know, your boy's going after Crater Jet 1 stuff. Every nation's getting a triple art. Blind looking at these arts real quick, we have no clue what to do, but left to right, I want to say Narukami definitely feels like the Dark State one? I don't know, because these next 2 after it definitely both feel like Shadow Paladin to me. They're not giving both to Shadow Paladin. That makes no sense. You got Dragon that looks got the Blaster Dark motif. Spoilers. Guess what? We get another Icon deck. Red. Blaster Dark. Fan Blaster Dragon fans. There you go. Congratulations. Yeah, that definitely looks like a Phantom Blaster kind of drag, which makes you think the other one's a Dark State card. That and the Night After definitely are giving me Shadow Paladin. Last one's definitely Granblue. That is 100% like a Banshee kind of card. So let me know on these middle two. Which one do you think is Shadow and which one do you think is Donation was so missing? I feel like the second one has to be Dark State. Like, maybe Dark Irregular. Maybe give him Dark Irregular. I don't know. Skyride does have Amon. Don't think we get it here. It won't come out. We've got a lot of Skyride stuff. Give us Amon, please. And finally, the last slide that we're talking about. Speaking of nation cards, how do you guys feel about dual nation crossovers? Feel about taking 2 nations per card, putting them in, I don't know what grades is going to be. We got one that's Binoc and Lady Battler of the Dawn. I don't play League Joker. This one's interesting. I'm trying to speculate over fusion of skills. So, Binoc is effectively a card that either lets you mill a card or just buff something and then retire a card in a turn. Whereas Lady Battler lets you lock something in power. Both these are power type upside skills, but they get power in different ways. I don't know if these cards are going to be like a choice either or thing. This feels weird. This one feels weird because you're getting the same kind of power up skill, but doing it different ways. One retires, one locks something. Moving clockwise, we have the Yuri pair of all time with Requiem and Succubus and Prayer Love. God, that makes so much sense. Angel and Demon, Angel and Succubus. This was interesting. Trying to look up the V versions, the original versions, everything like that. Every version of Succubus Pure Love is effectively a stride searcher. Card that you discard looks for a grade 3 to discard for your stride thing, counts as a grade 3 for stride thing. Requiem, though. She went from effectively a 12k attacker to, in the B version what I'm highlighting, it's do traditionally more what Angel Feather does, swap something from your damage zone to your hand. I don't know how that's gonna work. So far, these ones I've read feel like they're 2 completely different skills. Stride search and a call card from your damage zone. Moving on. This one is your classic Dark State / Stoic one. Probably one I'm going to grab because I play Blizzard Nations a lot. Oh, you have Fusion of Gwyn the Ripper. A very old school card that's the Blasted Blade of Dark State, just retire something, and new versions that counts your soul. And Rune Shade is mill card gain power, effectively. This one feels like a more concise thing, just you mill 2 cards or something, retire a card, something like that. Again, like, with them having such different effects for the most part, it feels like these are all going to be either or effect. Comment your theories down below. Continuing on, we have Left Arrestor and Brutal Jack. This one's more straightforward. It's 2 power-up cards. I can see with it being half Brutal Jack, it's going to be like a strong power versus trait, something like that. So it has a lot of attack, but like you have to pay condition to do something. But Left Arrestor is literally just a power. Then finally, this is going to be the most interesting combination, I think. We have Cursed Lancer, your traditional on-hit countercharger. We had these a lot early on in the game. Having this attached to something would be super cool. Shiryuki is a defensive card. This is something that you discard from your hands that next to your opponent's field. So we do have this already, kind of, in Tamayura. One of the old Regalis decks, what are they called? Glitter? There we go. Super fun deck I played a lot. Dragon Empire, that was the first Direful Dolls, hashtag Gearman Circus. Had one of their orders was effectively the same effect as Shiryuki, where you play it, your opponent's front row gets minus X power total turn. That's Shiryuki, so we're attaching that to something that's an on-hit counter charge. Very interesting, very interesting. Of these 5 cards, I feel like the most concise is probably the Rune Shade Gwyn the Ripper one, if not Shiryuki one. You see a lot of power-up skills. Gwyn 1 can potentially retire. Yuri 1 potentially calls card out. Shiryuki 1 may have some sort of defensive skill to it. I don't know, there's going to be a lot of theory crashing on these. This, I'm very excited for, especially because they're probably going to be donations. We've had donation cards before, which means that you'll see these a lot more decks. Also probably be a lot more expensive, so make sure you pick them up. I am scared. This is going to be a festival collection set. That's all I need to say. It's going to be a festival collection set. Have fun. Make sure you pre-order your boxes now. If you want to help support me on this channel so I can afford boxes of this TCG player, where I'll probably be selling singles of the set once it comes out now. That is all for the slides that we have. I mean, there's a Buddyfight one, I guess. Real quick on the slide, going back to 4, Dragon, Danger, Magic, Katana, Ancient, Legend, Darkness Dragon, Hero World. Hero World, love that. And then that's the 2 special ones, I believe. Azidahaka. This last one I'm not sure of. Star Dragon, maybe? And generic stuff, so cool. Glad to see Buddyfight's getting another set. I played Buddyfight back in the day. Future content on that. But it is time for me to stop this section because they probably revealed Akane by about now. And I promise you, if you stuck around until the end, you'll get to see Akane. If you guys enjoyed this so far and you like these kind of reveal videos, make sure to subscribe. That's all I'm going to say for now. Here's the outro with Akane. Oh hey, didn't see you guys come back in. I was too busy working on making some new Akane proxies. So, Bushiroad. They did it. I mean, we all knew they were going to do it, but we have our reveal for Akane now. And let's just say, this morning when I was reading stuff out walking Coney on the way to work or whatever, I stopped in my tracks. And just screamed after getting a line into the cost of the card. So Yay! Here we go. Auto ability. When it's placed on rear guard, if you have a Vanguard with either Aichi Icon or Hound Razor. This is all I need. It does work in Hound Razor. You guys already know. I gotta make some Hound Razor merch. I don't know why I haven't done any like iconography for the deck that I've been playing since it came out that I love so much. Alright, so go ahead and continue on with the skill to see what it actually does. You got one of those things, you cost counter blast 1. Search your deck for up to a 1 grade 1 or less high beast. Call to rear guard in the same column as this unit and shuffle deck. Boom. Fantastic. This goes back to Akane, the one that was scared to make proxies because she is the counter blast 1. The old one is CB2. This is another copy of Michiru for Hound Razor effectively, except it looks for any card. Does not for top 7, just like Aoi looks for any card. I'll go for HG8 Practication too, but like Hound Razors is a freaking toolbox with all of its full dogs. Link to list guide. They need to give you guys an update, so that'll be coming soon. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about the Hound Razor half is just like 3 Saragons, 3 Shield Dogs, 3 Melangons. Talk about the HG half for a second. She of course does come with her own little doggo Pongal, and I'm not even bringing that card up. I'm just doing this by memory. Essentially, when it boosts a Aichi Vanguard card, or card with a little icon on, just like her, lets you check your top 7, top 5, I want to say, for a grade 3 without Reon's piece's name and add it to your hand. Kind of locked, but not really. If you run in Hound Razors, you're just gonna get Persona Rise off this. Like, you could run Saishin, but you're just gonna get Persona Rise off this. In Aichi, though, of course, you get your Persona Rise, you get your other Persona Rise. The way that the new revival decks work is that you basically have 2 different cards that you can count as a Persona Rise. You can test stuff. It doesn't say for the Aichi Icon thing. So, once again, a great thing, which you saw in the latest Alfred game that I highlighted. Game Slaughter is OP in anything Alfred related. Very good card for the Aichi deck. Okay enough for Hound Razor, if that makes sense. More importantly, this, like I said, calls any dog out of deck. Possibilities are quite infinite, so always embrace the infinite. You guys already know. If you just end the flavor text here, it's just another copy of Michiru that doesn't specifically target in the top 7 cards. 9 out of 10 right there. 9 out of 10 right there. Fantastic. A lot of applications you can use with it. However, it keeps going. It's not just this. Third skill, real quick. You guys don't care about that. When it boosts a high beast, if your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, it's +5. Very good in its own. I'm not checking, but I believe Pongal might also get a +5 as well if it does has 28k column. And if you play in Hound Razors where you should, all of your back row high beasts get +5 by Aoi's ability. That's a minimum 2 card guard unless they're using a special front. Very good that you just have a free 2 card guard off this card. Aichi deck, I want to say that, like, unless you're on your Alfred turn, you're guaranteed to have 5 attacks in there. You're guaranteed to have 5 attacks in there when you're on Soul Saver. Much better to be on old Alfred than new Alfred for that. I don't know. How many, of course, 4 attack, rear behind Vanguard, rear. So having more power on those columns is solid. Hitting 28k for no freaking reason is solid. Enough said. Then final skill. Icing on the cake. This is what took for me from 9 out of 10 to about a 17 out of 10. Once per turn, put one of your high beast rear guard with an Aichi icon that was not placed this turn at the bottom of your deck. Your Vanguard gets +5 until end of turn. Now, I'm gonna say, like, because it says Aichi icon, it goes from a 17 out of 10 to say 14 out of 10. Just ignore that. We're gonna talk about the card in general. You're putting a card back in deck to give your Vanguard power. Alfred, traditionally a card that can't be boosted, so any way to give it power is great. Old, new Alfreds. Why do we have 2 versions of Alfred and Soul Saver in the same format? The one that we have right now, let's put it that way, has a skill that gains power based on field presence and gets strat checks and crits. Solid. The new one is gonna let you restand a column. Either way, a +5 there by returning a card. It may sound mid. It may sound like bad because you lose in field presence. Let me just say one thing. This was makes a good Hound Razors too. One of the reasons I care about getting the Aichi deck more than anything else. Margle's back. Logo's back. That is 2 new high beast triggers with the Aichi icon on them. You can return triggers back to deck. Granted, spawn deck, but shuffle. This is the main phase ability, sequencing. That's about the best you do with Hound Razor. Unfortunately, it's just put a crit back in deck. Actually, calling triggers out of deck or just having them as rear guard is not really a bad idea in Hellraisers, because AoE powers them up, making them 10k boosters, and if you are using a side shield strat, that gives all of your back row doggo dogs the ability to intercept and guard you from the back row, which means that if you have to call a trigger, it's still a 10k booster that's like, what, a 15k shield? Honestly, one of the things I'm most hyped for when the IG deck drops is just to pick up those Floogles, because now you'll have access to 8 different high beast critical triggers. It is what it is what it is. Like, if it put any high beast back in deck, you just win the game straight up, because all of the abilities to call cards out of deck. You return triggers either way, I think. I've literally, in the past day since it was released and since I recorded the segment, already seen people cooking like a Raziel build that just sticks on IG for a couple turns. I don't know how I feel, because I haven't been the biggest Raziel fan, but that's funny. Put more crits back in deck, that's the point I'm trying to get across. IG specifically though, we'll go into that real quick before we end things off. You now have a reason to run the actual starter ride line, because that called a crit out deck, which you didn't do anything with before. You can return, of course, your Barkles and your Wiggles back to deck. I mean, Wiggles just 5k booster for Blasted Waves, that feels mid, but once again, the Pongal, the card that comes out with this. Boost, look for your grade 3s, put it back in deck, give Vanguard +5. Solid. Deck, reverse thinning. It's still deck winning when you're just gonna call the card back out of deck. But let's go ahead and wrap things off there, because I tied this segment into the end of a whole freaking presentation reveal. Thank you guys for watching. What do you think of all these shenanigans? The ban list, the freaking dual nation cards. Akane is back, ladies and gentlemen. We're probably gonna talk about Aermo sometime in the future. Leave your comments down below, and while you're down there, if you haven't subscribed yet, maybe because they're doing that. It'd be pretty cool. And of course, if you like what I do here and want to help support the channel, you can join my Patreon. That'd be pretty cool. Drop $1 if you just think that what I do is cool, or a little bit more if you want to give my dog a treat, or, you know, have your name somewhere here on the credits. But thank you guys for watching. I have to make some actual Akane proxies and not just leave up the old triple rares again. So always, embrace the infinite.